Hello and welcome to the Armband. I'm your host Chris, and as always, Kieran is here with me too. How are you today, Kieran?
Yeah, good. Excited. FPL's back, so yeah, ready to get going.
Yeah, I know. It feels like the last 2 months have flown by with Club World Cup and Women's Euros, so now, yeah, can't
Yeah.
wait to get going again. So, lot to discuss in today's show, not least how they've ruined the user experience on the website. Besides that, we're going to cover the rule and point changes for the 2025 and 2026 season, a view of who we think have been under and overpriced, and we're also going to share a possible game week 1 draft because at this stage, why not? Just before we get into the show properly, there's 2 things to say. Please, if you do enjoy the show, like and subscribe. We're trying to fight the YouTube algorithm, and for us, if we can hit 25 likes on this video, that would be a fab place to start. And additionally, new for this season and something to get excited about, you can now support the Armband on Patreon. So Kieran and I have been making FPL content for the last 6 seasons and counting now. And like many content creators, we put quite a lot of time and care in behind the scenes, all while balancing work and young families. So if you enjoy what we do and want to help us keep the show going and growing, supporting us on Patreon is the best way to do it. So 2 tiers of membership for this season, and part of supporting, we've tried to give quite a few benefits away. So there's going to be entry to our private prize league, where there's going to be monthly winners who will grab an exclusive armband mug. There's access to our head-to-head cup. There's with a prize for the winner of that. There's an extra special prize for the overall season champ, access to a Discord community, and we're going to do thank yous for everyone that supports us with names in the banner on all of our YouTube videos. So yeah, it'd be great if people decide to support us. There's 2 tiers of membership, and yeah, please let us know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, really no pressure. Really, nothing's changing at all in terms of like the show and stuff. It's just like, yeah, if you want to help us out and just sort of support the show, simply just get us to us to be able to grow and sort of try and just give something back in terms of prizes as well. And it just seems like a no-brainer for us to finally do this.
Yeah.
Whereas we haven't really been, we've not really got ads on any of the YouTube videos yet, and our sort of growth stopped when we kind of stopped for a year. So we just we're trying to just get back up there, and just like any support you can do would be welcome.
And all the support is going to go back into the show. Like we've been talking about buying like new cameras, new recording equipment, being able to make scenes. So yeah, anything you can support us with if you like the content would be much appreciated. So yeah, thank you. But that's enough preamble for 1 week. Let's get into the show. Let's start off with the rule and point changes. We'll just go through these sort of in a small amount of detail really. So the first thing which is probably the largest change I would say, is the defensive contribution. So players who now make lots of tackles, blocks and recoveries could now become picks. So 2 points are going to be awarded for accumulation of 10 defensive actions for defenders and 12 for midfielders. What was your initial reaction, I suppose, to that news?
I was thinking about goddamn time. Basically, it was my initial reaction. It's just like, it's been a long time coming, and I feel like they've needed this for a long time. There was probably more than 50% of the players were just completely unpickable before, and we were all picking from a sort of pool of like, I don't know, 40 players ish.
Yeah.
Whereas in the game is probably like 300 ish or something. Like, so yeah, it was something that just hopefully is going to make players that weren't pickable before pickable. The likes of Tarkowski and Caicedo, like Howson, obviously gone to Real Madrid. Like, they were okay picks, but now they're even better. Like, more points like is not really a bad thing. And yeah, especially for defenses who, if you lose a clean sheet, then you're kind of mudded straight away if they're not getting an attacking return. So that little small addition to the sort of floor of defenders is really great for me. And especially CDMs, like people like Rice might be a decent enough pick now. Like, he's obviously on set pieces as well, so he's actually got attacking potential, and he did that a lot last season. And so yeah, I'm liking to see like Belieber, Caicedo, all those sort of people should be good picks from now.
And I think it will make a big difference to those players, and hopefully in the bonus points as well. And I've seen a lot of drafts already on X, and I feel like until we get a couple of game weeks into the season, I don't think the effect of that will be felt, because I'm not seeing that many people at the moment pick centre backs in their drafts or defensive midfielders. So yeah, I think there's still a lot for all of us to learn.
Yeah, I think the carrot on the stick is still there of attacking returns. So yeah, I think most people probably will still go there, but if the likes of just having Virgil or Van Dijk in your team and just having him take over with defensive contributions most weeks, and he gets like maybe a 4 point even when he's lost a clean sheet.
Exactly.
Like you're pretty fine with that, to be honest, aren't you? So yeah.
And I think when you talk about the ceiling, just the fact that you could probably get away with someone with playing like a 4.5 defender in a tricky game, which you could expect them to lose the clean sheet, but perhaps they will, rack up quite a lot of contributions. It's you're right. It raises the floor of 4.5 million defenders essentially.
What do you think of capping at 2?
Yeah,
I think that's kind of
a bit
unfortunate because if someone to get like 20 in a game seems pretty unlikely. So like, why could they not record or reward that if they actually do their position and their job well? It seems harsh to just.
I agree. I feel like there's no cap on points for goals scored, and I admit that's probably harder. But you kind of think to do 20, let's say 20 actions, defensive actions, is probably like it's quite difficult. So it's not going to happen that often, and they're only going to get 2 points for that. If a player scored like 3 goals, that's going to be 12 or 15 points depending on where they are positioned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I still feel like it's still skewed in favour of attackers, but at least defenders have now got something.
But a good change overall, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then one of the other major changes is that we're now getting 2 sets of chips. So everything, no mystery chips this year. So much loved assistant manager isn't coming back. First set of chips must be used before game week 19.
Controversial, much loved.
Yeah, yeah. My thoughts on this is just like is fine. Like I don't really have too much to say on it really. I don't know what your thoughts are. Like that's just the way they want us to play, and we're with it. Bench boost looks like what possible game week 1. Triple captain is just going to be a single game week fixture. There's not really, I don't think, too much that's going to vary with this.
Yeah, my first thoughts was just like, who asked for this? Why? Like, what's the point of it? But at the same time, like, more points, more fun, I guess. Like, I feel like, game week 1 maybe isn't the best time for bench boost. I don't think it's got the best fixtures. So maybe it'll be somewhere where you just find a week where the fixtures sort of line up for the good teams.
Yeah.
You wildcard the week before, and then you set up for a bench boost sort of thing. So that could happen because you could really wildcard at any point during the first start of the season, can't you? So, it's probably going to be in conjunction with a wildcard or now, and obviously later on you'll probably get, as you said to me today, you'll probably get more money to spend in your team from rises and stuff like that. So later on maybe is better just because you might have more money.
Yeah.
So
the best time to do it might end up being like prior to AFCON, which perhaps we could jump to next because managers will now be getting, that's one of the other changes, extra free transfers in game week 16 to help plan around this season's Africa Cup of Nations. I think you get 5 free transfers in that game week.
Yeah.
So what you could do, because bench boost is going to come before game week 19, you could load up on, not even need to load up. You're going to get 5 free transfers. You could just juicify your bench by taking out Salah, who's going to go, and then play the bench boost in game week 16.
Yeah.
That's like another option.
Yeah, and obviously, if you've got sort of transfers banked already, make sure you use them before that.
Yeah.
Because you'll just get 5 back anyway. So, that's there's still going to be some strategy around that, I guess, but you're almost at the same time getting out of jail free for 5 free transfers. So, when that happens in sort of like Champions League, like knockout stages, you get like 5 free transfers. You almost don't actually need to use them. So I can't think of 5 players from AFCON I'm probably going to have in my team anyway. No. So I think it's going to be quite generous and quite easy.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it's just like a remedy to keep players engaged too, or perhaps not like such committed managers, but we take those extra free transfers and we'll use them.
Yeah.
And then finally, the changes to the assist rules. So fantasy assists are often awarded to the player from the goal scoring team who has had the final touch before a goal is scored. It just basically means if these rules were in place last season, there would have been 41 extra fantasy assists. So it's I still think it's a little bit muddy, and the videos they showed, make me think that some shouldn't actually be assists, but they're trying to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacking player who played a part in the goal by awarding assists more generously. That was my read on it, and there'll be extra points available.
Yeah, I think like you said, it kind of shouldn't be assists in like the real world. But for fantasy, I guess whatever. Anything that makes it kind of a bit more straightforward is probably a good thing. Just because, you know, we've had so many times when it's not, or we think it should be, or it was given and you don't think it should be, and it's just, yeah, something to not have that happen would be fine. So let's see how this pans out. They might need to make tweaks on it next year as well, so we'll see.
I don't mind it. I just wish it was slightly more simpler. But what they've gone for with all these new rules and changes is it just means more points are available, which, you know, to me is fine, really. And fun. Right, should we get on to talking about some of the players that we like how they come in?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to start us off?
Right. So I was looking at the sort of four, was it five, who are revealed on the first day. So Salah, do I think he's over or underpriced? I'd say probably over, because he's never been priced before 13 million before. He's obviously 14.5 million now. I'm going to assume that he probably won't be as good and reliable as last season. Obviously, a year older.
Yeah.
But he's obviously he's still a fitness king. But yeah, I'm wondering if that's arrival could help him possibly. Could get more points for him, but that also means, you know, maybe Salah won't be focused as much by defenders. But will that mean the points are spread more with, you know, Verts and Gakpo and Louise and whoever else? So, yeah, I think he is slightly over, but at the same time, their fixtures are pretty good. It's hard to not go with him. He's probably the standout captain from week one. Yeah, I like him. So, yeah, who was not to like, really, Salah?
Yeah, I think that coming into this season, after his end to last, a bit like Palmer, I don't think like they justify their new price, because Salah had like really quiet end to the season. But you're right, I think going against him seems more dangerous at this stage than going against Haaland, for instance.
Yep. Speaking of Haaland at 14 million, I've got bang on price. I'd probably say like any more expensive, I think you'd probably ignore him, like I did all this year last year. I think there's loads of new talent around him, so and he's fully fit. I can only guess he'll probably get back to his best, but at the same time, like, have they gelled enough yet? Like, he wasn't exactly prolific in the Club World Cup with the new players. So, you know, Cherky, Marmoush, Reinders, like Rodri, like Foden, they're all going to sort of chip into his points, I think. So, you know, yeah, 14 million seems right to me. Like, if he was cheaper, then I think you'd probably start going there for sure. But at the same time, I think their fixtures at the start of the season is actually quite good, because I think it's teams that are going to attack City, so Haaland could get space. So, yeah, it's probably going to be something like 60% ownership for Salah versus like a 25-ish for Haaland, and that seems like a good space for you to possibly benefit from if you do go there.
Yeah, no, I think they've done well to price him. It's a shame that they're not like maybe even 0.5. Sort of Haaland's even 0.5 less than that to really sort of drive home that difference. But yeah, I think they've done pretty well on both of those two premium assets. You know, I've been trying to like just bring up either of the transfers on the screen just so I can look at these players with the new UI, and yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. Who else do we think is a bit overpriced then?
So Isak, I'm not sure if he's definitely overpriced, but I think he's just about like. You know, he's obviously the upper echelon players, but not quite premium. Nailed on in a strong attacking team on penalties, etc. So, but he had his injury niggles last season, and we could see quite a bit more rotation with him around sort of Champions League. So, yeah, Isak going to be 100% nailed on to play in the Premier League, or he will be to start at least. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that price. You know, sort of when we saw Watkins go up like quite high. Like, did Watkins go to 10 million last year? I think he did, right?
Might have been quite high.
Yeah, so I don't know. He's yeah, behind Haaland, he's probably the best striker in the league. So yeah, he probably had to be that price, didn't he? So
and he was the highest scoring forward last year. So yeah, just making sure he was sort of priced effectively. But yeah, I was surprised how much it had jumped up. But I think it definitely presents a decision there, like who your two premium players are going to be. I sort of class premium as anything over 10 million, I think, this season. And yeah, I'm not sure he's better value than Palmer or Saka. Let's have a look at who I thought was overpriced. So I've just sort of mentioned him there. Palmer, would be interesting to get your thoughts on this. So he obviously had a really good Club World Cup. and to be fair, he's been in all my drafts, and his ownership is at 48%. But at the end of last season, we know he was really, really poor. Like the second half of last season, game week 19 to 38, just 73 points, average of 4 points per game, outside the top 50 of all players for points per match. I think if he plays wide out on the right, he's a great asset again. But if he plays back through the middle, which I expect he's probably more than likely to do, given who Chelsea are interested in with, Neto's been playing well, they're buying Gittins, they're interested in Garnacho. It just seems that it'd be unlikely for him to play on the right of that forward line when they've got so much like talent or so many talented wide players there. Do you think he's come in a bit overpriced?
He's probably about right. If he was cheaper, you'd probably have to go there like 100%. So yeah, I think he's probably right. Yeah, you say he had a good Club World Cup, but until the final, he didn't do a lot, to be honest.
Did he get a goal in the semi-final?
I think he got like a goal and assist in the rest of it, other than the final. So it wasn't particularly amazing. Like especially at the start, like against like bad teams, he'd still gone something like 20 odd games without an open play goal. Like it was increasing in the Club World Cup, and just thinking, God, like he wasn't on it, but I guess that those few days that they got to really sort of strategize for PSG, was just like they were completely on it. So fair enough.
They were perfect. Another one I think let's get rid of all the overpriced ones and then just talk about the juicy underpriced ones. So I think Bruno is like way overpriced at 9 million. He's in a really tough spot because I think he's the only 9 million player. I don't know what justified his price rise from like 8.5 to 9 million. Maybe the fact that Cunha and Mbeumo have come in at 8. There needs to be some sort of hierarchy there. But from what we expect for Amorim this season, he'll more than likely play in the midfield too, with Cunha and Mbeumo like essentially in the 2-10s. I'm sure they'll probably take some set pieces off him, and just the fact that he's dropped deeper, along with that, it just seems strange that they've hiked his price by 0.5 to a price where you can't really get to or from very easily. So I think sadly he's overpriced. And then finally Sade, which he could have been like a real gem this season, but because it seems like Wissa might be leaving. He had a good end to the season at Brentford. He played well, and he's jumped from 5.5 million to 7 million, which I think seems quite extreme. He ended the season with 11 goals, 4 assists. He's only 1 million cheaper than Mbeumo, Diaz, and Cunha, who all had like really amazing seasons last season. He's the same price as Rodgers, Semenyo, and Kluivert. So I don't know. Explain that. Like I guess he might be OOP and playing in the forward line out of position, but I don't know how he can be priced the same as Rodgers, Semenyo, and Kluivert, who did it all season. He had half a season. His returns weren't as good. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but
if they lose Visser, I don't like him as a striker. I think they're Brentford are a prime team. Losing Frank as well, a prime team to like regress massively. I could see them like fighting relegation around the 16th, 17th sort of area this year. So I like them defensively as a team. Like Kelleher is a good price at 4.5 in goal. But like attack wise, like Sharda, I don't like. I do quite like Damsgaard. Damsgaard was good last year. He was getting lots of assists, so he could be someone to look at. But Sharda at 7 million, definitely overpriced. And I don't love or fancy Brentford at all this year, really.
Yeah, no, same for me. Yeah. Well, should we talk about some who we figure might be like gems, I suppose, in our teams, or some really good price players?
Yeah, I mean, we have to talk about Verts. Like 8.5 million. I think he's certainly underpriced. I think the consensus, I would say, is probably 0.5 or maybe even 1 million underpriced. I figured he might even be 10 million. One of the best players in the world, like maybe only behind like Yamal at the moment, I'd say, or the young players anyway. So over 100 million spent on him. Like he'll obviously going to start basically every game and all the minutes available. Like probably the 10 position. I wonder where that leaves like Szoboszlai and Diaz and Gakpo, but him and Salah I think are going to be linking a lot. And he was good in Champions League. He was good in the other fantasy games I played for Germany and stuff. So like he is yeah, he's a really good player, and I think he is definitely underpriced, and it's hard not to go with him. Like his ownership is pretty high already, and it's probably only going to go up. Like I'm not worried about the sort of adapting to the Premier League. I think he's good enough to just come in and start flying.
Yeah, nearly 40% ownership already, and yeah, you're right. 8.5 million seems for a player who we think is very likely to be nailed on in that Liverpool front line. Just seems like a good value.
Yep. Yeah, potential bargains as well. Kudus maybe. Talented player, bought from West Ham for a hefty chunk. So I assume Frank is going to want him as first choice right wing, and really good fixtures at the start of the season. Yeah, good price. Not much to not like there really. I think if he's definitely going to play, because obviously Frank bought him, so why wouldn't he? I guess so. It seems good. Cherky, I think, is 6.5 million for City. Focus on the potential here, potential bargain. Is he ever going to be nailed on? Probably not. But yeah, he's a really good player. Looked pretty impressive in the Club World Cup when he did play. So yeah, I think we will certainly be tempted by him at some point this season. Truffert at 4.5 million at Bournemouth. He's Kirkes' replacement. He looks like a really good player. He was Rennes' captain in League One by the age of 23. 2 goals, 2 assists last season. Not amazing, but decent fixtures post Game Week 1 after Liverpool. I think he could be someone you could just stash on the bench for Game Week 1 and just have him in your team from then on, because he looks like he's going to be attacking. And I don't think Bournemouth's defense has gone that much down, assuming Zabani stays and Senesi's going to come back in for Howson, because Senesi was first choice before he got injured. So I think Petrovic is a decent keeper change from Kepa. I don't think that's going to go down much there. And then so Araujo / Smith at the right back position, whatever. I think he's a good player, and I think the Bournemouth defense should be okay this season again.
I think they've reinvested all the money they've got quite well already. To get a Premier League proven goalkeeper, who a lot of people thought should have been Chelsea's number one. This Truffert lad sounds good. They're all pretty much 4.5 million, and I don't think many people are going to be on them simply because of that first fixture against Liverpool. But after that, they don't have any red fixtures until game week. I think it's game week 10 maybe. So yeah.
He's certainly someone considering, and I think he's going to be a differential for sure as well. So then De Kuyper at 4.5 million at Brighton. Estepinian looks like he's off to AC Milan, so he should be the first choice right back. He played and started their last friendly behind closed doors, I think, for Brighton. So he's the Belgium international first choice right back. Is it? Yeah, it's right back. And he was a pen taker at his previous club as well. He's very attacking. So Brighton on their day can be pretty good defensively. They've got good fixtures, enough to have a 4.5 million defender from them, I think. So he looks like one that should be good. But Van Heck and stuff like that are also 4.5 and probably more defensive contributions. So you could sort of flip between those two. And then O'Brien for Everton at 5 million. He was ended up being nailed on in that back four for Moyes at the end of the season. Obviously a solid defense. He got 2 goals towards the end of the season as well. Good fixtures, good price. I think people are going to certainly overlook him. And 0.5% owned at the moment. So uber differential. That first fixture seems pretty good. I think the other fixtures are pretty good. Everyone talking about Pickford being overpriced, but they are a good defense. And that back four is full of points, I think. So
No, I like all those bargains, to be honest, and I think they are all good. I've got a few more to add on to that who I spotted up and thought, these are still worth considering. I think Van Dijk, I think all the defence is perhaps underpriced as well. I think the gap between sort of the elite team defence and Forest and Everton is way too small. I think Forest and Everton have got a hard job to sort of replicate the form of last season. So the third highest scoring defender last season for the best team in the league, Van Dijk's actually remained the same price. So, and all the wing backs at Liverpool who, could be fancy, but they're also 6 million and rotation sort of, or under rotation. Van Dijk's the most nailed. He'll get extra defensive sort of points. He got 22 last season. I think he just seems like he or an Arsenal defender seem like a lot game week 1. And then other ones I think I was surprised at their price. Chris Wood, like I know you weren't too keen and didn't have him very often last season, but 7.5 million for a player who hit 200 points. Forest haven't signed anyone. They've got a great start to the season.
Well, they have actually.
Oh, have they?
Well, as far as I know, that Igor Jesus, who was from Botafogo, who was playing in the Club World Cup, he's gone to Forest as far as I know.
Oh, maybe there will be a bit of rotation. But he's only owned by Woods. Despite that, is only owned by 13% so far. 20 goals and 14 goals in the last 2 seasons. Really good run in like the first 6 or 7 game weeks with Burnley and Sunderland. I just think if he's going to be sort of still first choice and then maybe even subbed off like he was at the sort of end of last season, then maybe he's worth a look at the beginning. And finally, we know that centre backs are going to likely get more overall points this season because of the defensive contributions, and especially when playing tougher games. So I was kind of surprised that both Gahey and Concert are 4.5 million, 2 really decent teams in Crystal Palace and Villa, and they've really good set of fixtures if you rotate them. So basically all the way till about game week 10, they've all got decent home fixtures: Newcastle, Forest, Crystal Palace, Sunderland. Yeah, well, you could play them together.
As a like a pairing, like those two rotate.
Yeah, those two rotate. Yeah, really well. Newcastle, Forest, Crystal Palace, Sunderland, and then Sunderland again, Fulham, Burnley, and Bournemouth. So that seems like a really good value there. So yeah, I think they're well worth consideration.
Yeah.
All right. So finally, we've just put together just a quick draft, I suppose, to go through. It's your draft of a potential sort of game week 1, if you like, lineup. Do you want to give your thoughts on it? Because I was surprised no big hitter defender, but the midfield.
Yeah, I wanted Cucurella in there, just couldn't afford him. I think the Chelsea defense should be good. They were good in the Club World Cup, and their fixtures are really good for the start of the season. So like Palace, West Ham, Fulham, Brentford, Man United, and then after that Brighton. Yeah, so it looks decent enough that you can go there with a Chelsea defender and hope for the best. Sanchez in goal is probably okay as well, but Cowell centre back, probably going to get lots of defensive contributions. You could probably play him in harder games because he will sort of rack those up as well. I think absolutely nailed on as like the main centre back in that team. So I like him, but I did want Cucurella. He's obviously a great sort of cog to their attack now. I feel like so. If you can get there with Cucurella, I think he's certainly a better choice. But like Cole's not bad either. So then I went for Spurs in your doggy. I'd like Romero for the sort of, he's got set piece threat and he's also got a lot of defensive contributions as well. So I like Romero, but your doggy for the money at the moment. Like I think he started their last friendly as the actual proper left back, not inverting anymore, just a normal left back. So I assume he's first choice. And the fixtures are there to start for Spurs. So I like him. Then De Kuyper, I mentioned earlier, Fulham at home, good enough fixtures. He's okay. May end up going with someone like Conter instead or something like that. But like De Kuyper. Salah and Verts double up at the moment. I don't think I'll probably ever go off that in my drafts. I can't see going without Verts, to be honest, and I can't see going out with Salah. So I think they're both going to stay for me. Kudus in there, as I've mentioned, and then Palmer, as we've also mentioned. Hard to look past those fixtures. I'm sort of skeptical about his form and his positioning, but I think he's going to be very highly owned. He's already 50% basically. So and then Welbeck up front. I think they have signed another striker with Ferguson going, but like for the time being, I assume he's absolutely nailed on penalties. And I think the fixtures are there for him as well, as I said. So seems good value at 6.5 million, but I may end up going off him just because I will get sort of flirty with other players. But Solanke seems like a no-brainer. I think like assuming Son doesn't play as many minutes as he has done, Solanke on penalties seems like a possible call. So I like that. And then Watkins, which I don't think is in many people's drafts. We talked about the fixtures for Villa. I like the fixtures. Sunderland game week 5. They got Everton, Palace, Brentford. Brentford, like I said, possibly going to be a lot worse. People can't seem to get to the Watkins sort of price bracket. I think he's going to be a nice differential. May end up going off him just because money things, and I might want to upgrade in the defense to get a Gabriel or VVD, as you say, but that would probably be the only way to do that. So or it's to be a Verts down, which I don't love, as I said. So yeah, and then on the bench, Darlow is 4 million keeper for Leeds. It's supposed to be first choice, so fine. Yeah, I didn't mention I got Sales and defense goalkeeper. I think they probably will regress this season in terms of clean sheets, but they've got good enough fixtures to like, just go with him. Like 5 million is not that bad for Sales, I think. So, and then I've got O'Brien, as I talked about. I've got Belieber in there as a sort of the fifth mid of just you can just have come in and hopefully get defensive contributions. He got 2 goals, 3 assists last year as well.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. No, 3 goals scored, 1 assist. So yeah, that's not bad for a defensive mid at only 5 million. So actually, wait, I clicked on Welbeck. He's 5 million. And then Steve at Burnley, just the last defender, 4 million. He played every minute last season, I think, for Burnley. And I think there's also Rondon, who played every game for Leeds at 4 million. Nice, so there's choices there. But, the centre-backs might get defensive contributions, or they probably should, to be honest, especially in bad teams because they'll be defending a lot. So, I think those are good options for forward zeros. Probably a no-brainer to at least have one in the team and just stick on the bench if you need. So, yeah, that's where I am at the moment. I think there's certainly changes to be done. Gyökeres has just signed, been confirmed for Arsenal, and interesting where he's going to come in, because I'm definitely going to want him because he is such a good player. So and I don't have any Arsenal at the moment, so that would be really nice. And he could get on penalties ahead of Saka, maybe.
Yeah, he's got a better record than Saka. It could be good.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so if Saka will not be worth 10.5 million if that happens. So
if they put him in at 9, I think that would be great.
Yeah, that would be juicy. I'd love that.
So I haven't got a draft to share at the moment, but just because I think it would be useful just to talk about one. But I think for me, most of my early drafts have been centered around keeping 5 key players at the moment. So Watkins, Salah, Wirtz, Palmer, and Van Dijk. Those are ones at the moment for me. They're not really moving, and I'm just trying to.
I'm surprised you had Wirtz. I didn't think you'd be.
Yeah, on him. Well, I think last season I missed a trick without the double up on Liverpool attack, and I think he does look like a bit of a gift horse in the mouth, because he's just good price and he's on TV on that first Friday night. I feel like any return he's going to get a price rise, and I just don't like the idea of a little doubt of that. Yeah, just at 8.5, he just seems like he could be a really good option. I don't love the double up attack, but maybe for this case, it might
good
be
price
okay.
to go down as well if you have to.
Yeah,
because he's there's plenty of choice down from 8, 7.5 and stuff like that. So, I think Gakpo could be pretty good at Liverpool as well this season if he's coming off the left. He was good for me last season at points. If Diaz is apparently possibly off to Bayern, maybe I think so. If that does happen, Gakpo could be a really good option.
No, I agree. I think there's lots of changes still to happen at Liverpool, especially with Isak apparently not training with the first team as well, which was reported
right?
today.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Diaz will go and Isak will come in. They got is it Etike as well? That's actually signed.
Ekitike, like 95 million for him. I think is way over the odds, because they just I don't think he's any better than Darwin, really, to be honest. So we'll see how that goes.
Not sure either. Right, I think should we wrap it up for there today?
Yeah, so we'll share some proper drafts next week, I guess.
Yeah, so our plan for the sort of the build up to the season, we're going to be doing a show a week with more drafts, a bit of chat as well on potential bench boost game week 1, because it's definitely worth exploring that as an option.
Yeah,
and we'll be just doing some pre-season content as well, just to find out how teams are performing and see if anyone emerges. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Like I say, we're trying to hit 25 interactions, and finally the link is in the description for our Patreon if you do fancy supporting us. And we're back next week. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks all.